The Indian Navy has highlighted the increasing peril of drone attacks in the Red Sea and northern Arabian Sea as well. Its November 2023 security report on the Indian Ocean on the threat comes amid this month's attack on two India-bound vessels, namely MV Chem Pluto and MV Sai Baba. Now, the report calls the trend a growing cause of concern for the commercial shipping and global trade transiting through the Indian Ocean region. Let's look at some of the attacks in the region over the last 11 months. Starting off with the Liberian oil tanker Campo Square, which was attacked in the northern Arabian Sea, this happened on the 10th of February. A rotary unmanned aerial vehicle approached a vessel within 10 meters of Salalah, Oman on March 1st. The month of November itself saw 3 instances of drone incursions. One was a US Navy ship which downed a drone in the Red Sea off Yemen on the 15th of the month. A drone attack on a Malta-flagged container ship was reported in the Arabian Sea on the 24th. And a US Navy ship shot down a drone in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait off the coast of Yemen on the 29th of November. Now, the Indian Navy has issued an advisory to seafarers on the drone attack threat. It is advising seafarers to maintain visual and radar monitoring for potential air threats. Vessels are urged to increase speed to avoid presenting a vulnerable aspect. Vessels have also been urged to report incidents to maritime security centers, including the Indian Navy. Additionally, vessels are advised to heed warnings from maritime security centers besides broadcasting messages on designated channels to alert nearby vessels and multinational forces. All right, for more on this, we are now joined by our correspondent Siddhant Sibal. Now, Siddhant, of course, the Indian Navy had highlighted the increasing peril of drone attacks in the Red Sea. This was, they had highlighted this number of weeks ago. Now, the number of attacks we've seen in the region and the number of times that the Indian Navy has also deployed and diverted its missile destroyers towards safeguarding vessels which have come under attack, we're only seeing it increase. Talk to us about two things here. Number one, how far do you feel this maritime conflict is going to escalate, engulfing so many nations which are already involved now? And number two, what will be India's role in safeguarding this region? How involved will India get here?
Well, let me start with talking about this report. This report is by Indian Navy body, which is known as the Information Fusion Center for the Indian Ocean region. It's based in Gurugram and it's India's eye in the Indian Ocean. Basically tracks movement of every vessel from Indonesia till the Red Sea. Now, this report comes every month, and this time when the report has been released, it talks about the increased drone attacks, talking about, as you point out, the 5 drone attacks which have taken place so far, and I'm pretty sure the number is bound to increase when the report for the month of December is released. Now, as you pointed out, answering your second question first, now how it impacts these drone attacks, it clearly states that it will lead to increase in insurance cost, and that will lead to increase in inflationary pressures. Second, of course, it talks about how these attacks can lead to blockage of trade if these attacks take place on choke points. So what are these choke points? These are key areas across the Indian Ocean where the vessels enter into Indian Ocean. One, of course, is in Malacca Strait and can disrupt the entire trade in the Indian Ocean. We saw what happened when the blockage of the Suez Canal took place. And now what happens next, answering your first question, is something that the world is eagerly awaiting. Will these attacks continue at the current rate or will it decrease is the big question. We saw the Indian Prime Minister speaking to the Israeli leadership, with the Saudi leadership, talking about this issue and, of course, emphasizing on freedom of movement of commercial vessels.
Siddhant, I just want to take one more quick one from you. Now, till now, there were the Houthi rebels from Yemen who were taking responsibility for these attacks. They openly come out with their spokesperson giving these, in high-pitched voice, he's taking responsibility for the attacks that they have carried out. US has also been pointing fingers at Iran, saying that one of the attacks has been, which was also on a ship which was heading towards India, it was carried out by Iran. Iran, of course, has said that we are not behind it. And There is a presence of Somali pirates in the region, which have suddenly surfaced after being silent for quite some time. Which all are the players who are posing threats here in this region?
Well, the Indian Ocean region has always been an area of geopolitical contestation. There are several positive elements and there are several negative elements as well. India as the country, which is one of the largest countries, in fact the largest countries in the region, has said that it is the net security provider. Now there are several worries, you have pointed out to many of them, but remember there are issues like illegal fishing, there are maritime incidences, and this is the region through which the largest quantity of the world trade passes through. This is the region where the maximum number of human population on the planet lives. So it is a region that will see increased geopolitical contestation. It will see presence of external powers, and it will see the negative impact of the Chinese presence as well, because number of these illegal fishing are done by Chinese. So essentially there are several factors. We are of course making sure, the Indian side of course is making sure that there is no reputation of untoward developments, the developments which we have been talking about, the attacks which took place MV Sai Baba or MV Chem Pluto.
All right, Siddhant, we're going to let you go for now. Of course, we are tracking the developments coming in very closely. We will get in touch as soon as we have further updates on this.